The Denver Nuggets get the win over the Brooklyn Nets 107 to 103. This is their second meeting. However, the first time MPJ is back in Denver, back in Ball Arena, since he had been traded in the offseason for Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway, Val, and Bruce Brown. This game was really interesting. It's kind of been like the tale of Denver's games for like the last couple of games in terms of playing really well in the first half and then just being dog tired in the second half, or just coming out in the third quarter with not enough energy and definitely not finishing the fourth quarter with enough energy. However, they somehow pull it out in the fourth quarter of this game, thanks to Jamal and Val. First off, just giving certain players their props. Peyton Watson did good tonight. I think what's happening with Denver as a whole is that they are really just kind of starting to hit a wall in terms of the energy that they are exerting on both ends of the floor, with so many players being out. You know, now that Aaron is out for 4 to 6 weeks, it's probably going to be closer to 6 than it is to 4. Now that Aaron is out for 4 to 6 weeks, you have a lot of players kind of working really hard on both ends of the court. And I feel like they're struggling a lot now to close out in the second half of games, even when you have like how long does halftime usually last? Like 10, 12 minutes. Even when you get that 10-12 minute rest during halftime, they are like struggling. They are fighting to have some type of energy in the third quarter or the fourth quarter or both quarters in the half. And Peyton, I definitely noticed kind of like a drop off in terms of efficiency. I don't want to say it's a drop off because it's not a large drop off, but just certain effort that is given that we're used to seeing him put forth. Starting to see a little just energetic drop off is what I'm talking about. Even if the box score looks good, sometimes his energy throughout the court shows that maybe he's trying to conserve energy. For instance, like there was a couple of moments in here where I'm just not seeing him go after rebounds as much as I used to. And sure, you know, that's fine if he's in the backcourt and you want him to be the point of attack defender. So yeah, he has to be, you know, the player that's at the front lines when it's time to transition on a defense. But even then, even on offense, it's like when Jamal has the ball or when somebody has the ball, you just kind of see him standing around if the ball is not in his hands. So overall, I think I'm just noticing like Denver's just tired. They're just really tired from the lack of reinforcements and the lack of just players available to play. However, Peyton, 34 minutes, so thankfully not over 35, still making it close. And that's also a reason why I feel like he's been playing sometimes kind of sloppy or not having enough energy on both ends of the court, because at this point in time, he is playing closer to 35 minutes a game, sometimes if not over. But 34 minutes, 19 points. He was 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. He had 2 blocks in the first quarter. That was pretty cool. 1 foul, 0 turnovers, so that's always good. He was 7 for 15, 2 of 3 from 3, and 3 out of 6 free throws. We got to work on those free throws because he had gotten fouled, I believe, in the first quarter and missed like 2 free throws. And it's just like, come on, dude, like, please, we cannot, because the way Denver, especially when you look at their win versus Milwaukee, when you look at how they won versus Milwaukee, and then you look at how they lost versus Detroit, Denver is fighting tooth and nail just to keep their games close. So they don't really have time. They don't really have the opportunity to miss free throws because they're going to go for stints. Like in this game in the third quarter, they went for like a 6-minute stint, not scoring anything, and then somehow still ended up, well, not somehow, but still ended up winning still ended up being in the lead at the end of the third quarter. They didn't win the third quarter, but they ended up still being in the lead. They lost that quarter actually 27-15. Yuck. But they still ended the quarter with the lead. Peyton was a 0 plus minus. 0 plus minus, and I agreed with that. It wasn't, again, 19 points. You can't be mad at 19 points. But like I said, there was an energetic drop off. So hopefully he gets the rest that he needs tonight. Spencer Jones, this is not a good game from Spencer, like at all. This is probably the worst game from Spencer that we've had this season. Coming off of his really strong performance against Detroit a couple nights ago, Spencer was like the main reason we were able to stay in competition, stay having those runs with Detroit, and kind of like the main reason him and Jamal that we were able to keep that Detroit game so close. But tonight, baby, again, another energetic drop off. A lot of movements from Spence just kind of seemed like delayed reaction. He just didn't seem like all the way there. And the Nets were definitely capitalizing off of that. They were able to get some threes off because he was late to contest shots, late to close out, trying to figure out if he's going to close out or not, or if he's going to back up because this person might drive. Spencer didn't have it tonight. He was a negative 23. I don't think his plus minus has ever been that low. But again, Spence has saved us so many times and has kept us in the game so many times. So I'm not going to beat him up too much about it. But just not his best. He only had 1 point. 1 rebound, 2 fouls. He fouled MPJ like immediately. Immediately when the game starts, he fouls MPJ twice. 0 for 3 field goals and 1 of 2 free throws. So 50% from free throw line. Denver was not great from the free throw line like at all today. It was kind of atrocious that this game didn't have to be as close as it was if this team could just do better at making free throws. Val was great. Val was great. He was a plus 11 in this game. Oh, Jesus Christ. Just having a rebounder who knows how to rebound, or I'll say just having a tall person on the team who knows how to rebound is just such a gift, because Zeke was not great. Zeke was so freaking aggravating. He had moments where he was okay. He had moments where he had spurts of good defense, moments where he was aware on offense and able to either have a second chance points. Overall, Zeke was, what was his plus minus, child? Zeke was a -3. If I had to guess, I probably would have said -5. He wasn't bad, because we've seen bad Zeke Najee games. It wasn't like that. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't as good as Denver kind of needed him to be. 4 points in 23 minutes. 7 rebounds, 3 of them offensive. I feel like he should have had a double-double this game. I feel like he had a lot of opportunities to definitely get more than 10 rebounds. But Zeke, man, like, he just has an issue with just standing around when the ball goes up, or just not boxing out. It was just crazy to watch, because I'm just like, dude, you are what, 6'9", damn near 6'10". You need to put your body out there. You need to set your body up, set your body in position to where you think you can receive the rebound. And if you don't know where the rebound is going to go, if the field goal gets made or if it's missed, you need to put a body on somebody. Find anybody, and box them out. Zeke, I had so many notes tonight of just like Zeke not boxing out, and Brooklyn able to get the offensive rebound. They did a good job at getting offensive rebounds tonight. Let me see. I think they had 15. What we got here? I think they had 14 offensive rebounds to Denver 7. Be so for real. And a lot of that was due to Zeke tonight. A lot of that was due to Zeke. I want to say Val had some missed opportunities, but it wasn't because he wasn't trying. It was more so like he was getting clobbered. Every time he would get a offensive rebound and he would go for the putback, he would literally be surrounded like by 2 or 3 other big body players. Like, let's not forget, Michael Porter Jr. is still a big body. He is a premier 3-point shooter, probably going to be an all-star for the Eastern Conference this year, and deserving so. He played great tonight. But Val really had to fight for those rebounds, and so going back to him, he was great tonight. He kind of saved us. Not kind of, he did. Him and Jamal together saved us like those last 3 minutes of the game, because Brooklyn they did get the lead for like the first time. I don't want to say the first time, but I think it was the first time, down the stretch in the fourth quarter. And it was Jonas Valanciunas' efforts and Jamal efforts once his shots started hitting, and Jamal's efforts down the stretch in the fourth quarter that allowed us to get over the hump. I mean, Val particularly, it was his free throws that won us the game. Excuse me. It was his free throws that won us the game. And baby, he made both of them. Mind you, like I said, Denver did not shoot well from the free throw line tonight. They were 8 of 25. 7 missed free throws, and you won this game by 3. Could have won this game by double digits at the least if jokers can just make their free throws, bro. Let's see. Tim missed a free throw, but he played phenomenal. Bruce missed 2 free throws. Who we got here? Julian made both of his. Yeah, I already said Peyton missed 3 field goals, and then Spence missed the free throw. So Jamal, and Julian, they were the only ones to make all their free throws, but for Val to make those in the clutch, it was just so cool. It was so special to watch, to see him just kind of save the game for us. And Val played 25 minutes tonight, which is good. You really don't even want him to play over 25. He's definitely on minutes restriction. It's going to be interesting because Denver plays the Clippers on a back-to-back the next night, and I'm pretty sure Val is not going to play in that game. Hopefully Duran gets some minutes finally, because I feel like he just hasn't played in like forever. So Duran will probably get some minutes in that game. But great game for Jonas Valanciunas tonight. Let's see here. Pickett was a -9. And to be honest with you, I am struggling to think of what his minutes even looked like. Clearly, they were not good. He had 0 points. He had 3 rebounds, 3 assists. So they weren't horrible. But I truly can't remember like what he contributed. I do remember one of his assists. I think one of his assists was either to Tim or to Peyton, or both. But other than that, I can't remember anything that he offered offensively or defensively. So that I think he was a part of that group that came in, and he played in the first quarter. First quarter was cool. I think we won that quarter, but not by a lot. Yeah, we won the first quarter 30-26. But I don't remember a lot of positive Jalen Pickett minutes. Jamal Murray, he was getting so aggravating in the second half of this game. Honestly, the first 3 quarters, he was getting really aggravating. He ended this game 27 points in 33 minutes, which I'm glad he didn't play over 35, because that Detroit game was rough. That was a rough game to watch. He was clearly dog tired in that game, and I think his exhaustion is what contributed to those missed free throws against Detroit. But in this game, he plays under 33, which I think is really good. 27 points, and it's crazy because once we get to the fourth, I'm like, when did he even score all these points? On good field goal percentage as well. I mentioned before he was 7 of 7 from free throws, 2 of 3 from 3. Over 50% of field goal attempts. He was still a -9 in this game, and I feel that way. So he missed 7 field goals, and it's just like it was down the stretch. It was just so much in the second half of the game. Part of the reason why that third quarter was just atrocious, because it was just so much one-on-one going on. And Jamal is definitely, I think him and Peyton might be like the only like one-on-one players on the team. But I mean, Jamal is built for one-on-one competition. I'll give him defense. I'll say when he's really in it, he got a steal in this game. Oh, he got 2 steals in this game. I think one of them was on MPJ. But yeah, Jamal, he is a textbook one-on-one player. However, it just got to a point where he's just over dribbling, and then just chucking stuff up at the very end of the shot clock. And it's just like, usually like that stuff is just not going to work. He's the best to do it if he's going to do that. But I mean, like, it just happened over and over again. And then a whole bunch of switch hunting. So him trying to switch on MPJ and get that matchup. And then again, the ball just like not going in. And it wasn't just him. I think it got to a point where it's just like, if Jamal had the ball, everybody just like cleared out. Everybody just cleared out, stood behind the arc, and just waited to see what he was going to do, because it was just so much one-on-one going on. It was just so much like standing around expecting Jamal to save the day. Nobody's cutting to the basket. Nobody's like, it's just like, give Jamal the ball and let him play 1-on-5. And, you know, maybe that was the game plan. I don't know. But I didn't like it. I did not like it. So for him to finish this game, he finished the game, what, 71% true shooting, which is really good. But his efforts in the fourth quarter really put us over that hump. Even though I said, you know, in the second half of the game, it was like a lot of one-on-one, a lot of chucking shots up towards the end of the shot clock. Jamal started to get back in the game. He's dribbling, driving. Like the last 3 minutes, he had this possession where he's dribbling and driving. Val is in the game. And so Val gets open. He fronts the man that is on him. He gets open and he gives himself enough space for Jamal to pass him the ball. And then he just lays that baby right up over the competition. And it was just like, okay. Because for a second in the fourth quarter, the Nets, they got the lead. I think it was like the first lead that they had all game. Yeah, it was the first lead that they had all game. It's just like, come on, y'all. At the end of the second quarter, they were up 15. Before that, they were up 19. Yeah, before that, they were up 19. And then it's just like that third quarter was just so freaking atrocious. They couldn't score for like 6 minutes, and somehow, some way, like was still able to like have the lead at the end. And you know, thanks to the efforts from Julian, I enjoyed this game from Julian. He only had, I think, 3. Okay, he had 7. He had 7 points, and was a plus 11. So clearly, he did have a really good game. 2 of 6 field goals. It didn't really even matter. I feel like once Julian came into the game, you got some stops. He has 2 steals, and one of those steals was like at the very end of the third quarter, which I think kind of helped push the momentum back in Denver's favor. There was a stint where I want to say somebody either missed a free throw or missed a field goal, and while Surf on the Nets is pushing the ball up, Denver's just kind of lackadaisical. I'm like, y'all still have to guard him. And so Bruce picks him up. At half court. And he tries to spin off of Bruce, but Julian was right there, and Julian was just able to steal the ball and hurry up and rush, because I think that it was like under 5 seconds. Had to hurry up and rush to get the layup, and that's what allowed them to have that 3-point lead at the end of the third quarter. So really good Julian minutes. He played 22. Zeke Naji, I think I mentioned Zeke. He was a -3, 4 points, 7 rebounds, 3 of them offensive. But I think with the minutes that he was given and the opportunities that he was given on the court, really that the Nets were giving him, I think he had the potential to have a double-double this game. Bruce played great. I enjoyed these minutes from Bruce. I think Bruce is starting to get more comfortable in the role that is expected of him. He made a 3. He made 1 3. He only shot 1 3, and that was the 3 that he made, and it was so cool. He was left wide open too, and that thing cashed right on in, all net. He was a plus 13. 12 points in 33 minutes, 3 rebounds, 3 assists as well. 2 turnovers. One of them was like really bad. It was like I think it was either the start of the third or the start of the fourth. And it was like the first possession of the quarter, and he just turned the ball over. It's just like, Bruce, like the quarter just started. What are you doing? Only complaint is like those 2 missed free throws. Like you gotta tighten it up. But Bruce had a great game. He had a great game tonight, great game against Detroit. I think he's starting to get real comfortable in the role that is expected of him in terms of like that defensive, fast break, zone penetrating, paint penetrating player. He did a great job just getting into the paint. He had like some type of move where he is changing up his speed, changing up his pace. He had a little hezzy on him and then drove straight to the basket. And I think with his size and his speed, sometimes it's easier for him to get past competition or whatever defenders are in the paint. But I really enjoyed this game from Bruce. Let's see here. Last, but certainly, not last. Let's see here. We'll go with Hunter. I enjoyed this game from Hunter so freaking much. He only played 13 minutes. He had 0 points, but he had 3 really big rebounds. Did they give him credit? Okay, they didn't give him credit for his steal. He had 1 assist. He was a +8. 1 turnover, 1 foul. Again, he had 0 points, but you know, if you would have told me somewhere at the beginning of the season, hey, there's going to be a game where Hunter Tyson gets to play 13 minutes. He's not going to score at all, but he's going to be a +8 and it's going to be great. I'd have been like, okay. But no, like that's what it was. He was really great defensively, to be honest with you. And on a night where Spencer didn't have it, I really appreciated that from Hunter. There was a moment, I think I highlighted it. There was a moment in the second quarter where MPJ made 7 out of 15 threes, and it felt like he made like 12 out of 15, because it's just like every time this man shot a 3, it just felt like it went in. It did not feel like he missed 8 threes at all. Towards the end, I want to say the later half of the fourth quarter, that's when he like definitely started to miss threes. But everything before that shot, everything was going in. But in the second quarter, there was a stint, Hunter Tyson, he had played some really good defense on Wolf. Not that Wolf is like much of a threat, but he also played some really good defense on MPJ. And I have it highlighted. He forced MPJ to shoot an air ball. Okay. Like I said, MPJ, every shot that he put up, it looked like it was going down. So for him to shoot an air ball and it be Hunter Tyson to be the one applying pressure, it was really great to see. And there was also a stint, I want to say, when he finally came back in the fourth quarter, where he was just ball hustling, dude. Like, I can't remember if he got the rebound or if the ball fell and he was able to toss it to somebody to pick it up. But even in the post-game speech that David Adelman gave to his team after the win, he specifically shouts out Hunter for the hustle plays that he had tonight. So I appreciate Hunter's defensive efforts tonight, especially on a night where, you know, Spence, I feel like, just didn't have his legs under him throughout the game. But baby, last but definitely not least, Tim Hardaway Jr., honey. This man, please, 28 minutes. So I'm really glad he did not play 30 minutes or over, but 28 minutes with 25 points is insane. Bro, 81% true shooting. And not just, it got to a point, if we're talking about 3-point shooting, Tim Hardaway Jr. was the best on the floor tonight. He was 7 of 11. He was 7 of 11. 3 of those came in the first quarter. The first quarter, he shot, was it 3 for 3? The first quarter, it was definitely 3, but I'm not sure if it was 3 out of 3. It was 3 out of 4. But 11 points. And it just got to a point where it's just like, this man is not missing. Like, wait, what is going on? He definitely had a dry spell for a while, and I think it was, you know, just due to all the travel, all of these games bunched up into a short amount of time. He definitely went under a dry spell, but sweetie, he was out of that spell tonight. Yeah, in the first quarter, he scored 11 points in 7 minutes and was 101% true shooting. Let's see here. There was a note that I had. I forget where it was. Like, on top of all of his fantastic 3-point shooting, he had some possession. I'm trying to figure out where it was. Where on somebody, I want to say it was MPJ, but I can't recall. He had some type of possession where he dribbled into the paint. And was able to get like some type of spin around fadeaway jumper. And it was a jumper you definitely usually see Aaron make. Aaron loves like those spin fadeaways back up into your spin away fadeaway jumper. And Tim did it, and it looked really good. Definitely just, I don't really have any complaints from him, especially like 8 boards. It was so crazy to see too, because especially with Aaron being out, we need as much help as we can get when it comes to rebounds. And it's no secret, like Tim has kind of been showing folk, you know, he can get up there, he can hop high, and get up there for a dunk. And even, he didn't dunk the ball tonight, but he was getting like high. He was getting like high up there for some rebounds. I already mentioned Hunter Tyson being really good for the rebounds tonight. Okay, it was like at the top of the second quarter, I found it. But Tim's efforts, like, just, baby, we don't win this game. We don't win this game if he just puts up half of those points, okay? We don't win this game if he just goes for 20 and feels like, oh, I did my job, everybody else got to step up. Like, no, he was so freaking good tonight. He was so good tonight, just from the 3-point line, and just rebounding. Like, I'm watching him rebound over and over again, and I'm just like, okay, so he's unlocking a new skill, and I love it. Overall, 81% true shooting. He was a +21. A +21 in the game that was only won by 4. Okay. So he played phenomenal tonight. DA mentioned that he should definitely be a candidate for the 6th Man of the Year award, and I 1000% agree. That race is going to be very interesting. But I mean, Tim, he's having his best. He's known for being a 3-point sniper. So he's having his best shooting year of his career so far. So hopefully we'll see how this goes. I was getting frustrated. I had mentioned my frustrations with Jamal a little bit, but I was kind of getting frustrated with DA in this 4th quarter because there was just like, there was a stint where he brought back a lineup that I felt like was just unproductive. Peyton was kind of so. Zeke was like, eh. Jamal, it was really hard for him at that point. I feel like to lead in actual offense instead of just like trying to size somebody up in isolation and get the shot off in the clutch. So he brought and Spencer came in, and Spencer hadn't been having a game like all season. So he brought in a lineup that was kind of pissing me off. And like, I was getting so freaking frustrated. And they didn't do well. Like, they didn't do well at all. And it wasn't until like the 3.5 minutes left in the game where he finally brings back the rotation that I think he did a good job choosing to finish with. So, you know, I'll forgive him for it because I'm looking at everybody's minutes and I feel like everybody is playing a number of minutes that they should play. So, you know, with this, was this a 10-man or a 9-man lineup? Okay, 10 people played, yeah. So 10-man lineup, I understand, you know, you got to kind of cut people's minutes because you want the players that you have left to be healthy. But everyone that finished tonight was supposed to finish. Bruce played great. Tim played great. Jamal played great down the stretch. He made like some insane shots down the stretch, as he just usually does, dude. Insane shots down the stretch. And Val took us home. So overall, just glad they got the win. I'm not really going to try and critique too doggone much. Great first half. Horrible third quarter. Finished with a great fourth quarter. So unfortunately, MPJ did not get that win over Denver for the second time. He said he wanted to sweep his old team. Couldn't get it. Poor thing. He scored 38 minutes. Could not get to 40 for his life. I was actually hoping for him he would get 40, but he could not do that. The Nets, I don't feel like their defense did like really that much to cause Denver to play as bad as they did. I think Denver, they just became unorganized. They had very low energy and they were just unorganized in the later half of the game, or in the second half of the game. The Nets starters did really well. Their bench did not. I want to say Denver was able to take advantage of Tyrese Martin's minutes. I think when he came in was when Denver was starting to get on a 14-0 run. Nick Claxton, I enjoyed him. He had a great game. Terrence Mann is when he came in. That is when he came in. I want to say for the third quarter, that's when the Nets really started to like take over, and it was like, because they were leaving him open. He played before, but he didn't really make a mark to be noticeable at all. But he comes in, and at the top of the third, he makes like 2 threes, and it's just like, oh. Danny Wolf, he was cool. I wasn't mad at him, but by golly gee, Michael Porter Jr., man, just stellar game. I know he wanted that win, but I think this is their last, I want to say this is their last game of the season, but I think it is. But overall, great game for Denver to win. They're running on so much little fuel, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do, what lineup they choose against the Clippers tomorrow. The Clippers have been the best team in the West for the month of January, which ends in about like 2 days. Their game is on 30th. I think it's the same time. It's at Ball Arena. Yeah, let's see here. Yep. Ball Arena, 9 p.m. So same place, same time as it was for the Nets. Denver, let's see. The Clippers have a 5.5 point odds. That's kind of to be expected. So I don't know what they're going to choose for this game. I'm just hoping it's not a blowout. I'm hoping it's not a blowout, and I'm hoping that they could save their legs because they have OKC next Sunday, and baby, win or lose, that game is going to be a doozy. But glad to be back in the win column. Until then, I will see you guys Friday. Friday night after the Clippers game, and we'll see what type of outcome we have for that. Until then, this is Kiana Talks Ball, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one.